how do I know that as an infant my mother was neglecting me and not feeding me and not changing me? There was a little girl who was 10 years old when I was born, and her family used to babysit my brother and I. Yeah, a 10-year-old. Because the family knew that there were problems with my mother, they would keep an extra eye on my brother and I. So when Donna, that was the babysitter, would get out of school, her mother would pick her up and they would head over to my house and check on me and my brother. And oftentimes when they came in, more times than not in fact, they would find me in my crib unfed and unchanged. And she actually remarked to me when she told me about this experience, she shared this with me about, I don't know, 11 or 12 years ago. It's actually in my book. So if you want to know more, you can pick up my book through the link in my bio. She told me that when she would walk in, even though she was so little, she knew that it wasn't normal, for lack of a better word, to find me not even crying and just playing quietly. And she said the impression she had was it was as if I knew I needed to be a good little girl. And she wondered what other things were happening in the household that would put me in a position to know that. It's really heartbreaking. It was a heartbreaking thing for me to learn, because all the memories I have of my mother, I recognized, I knew them. I had found ways to come to peace with them. But when she told me about how my mother also neglected me as an infant, it broke my own heart for little Marnie. It really devastated me. And it took me a long time to process that. And I even had shame around it because of some of the things that I was doing while I was in the crib with my stuff in my diaper. I want to be careful how I mention things just because it's TikTok. I actually felt ashamed of that, which is so strange to me. This is part of what abuse survivors go through while we're trying to process things that weren't our fault and things that were done to us, right? So the other reason that I know that I was neglected in terms of not being fed properly is I developed rickets, which is caused by malnutrition. My brother didn't. There was enough money around. There was enough food in the house. My family actually did quite well. It was solely because my mother chose not to care for me and feed me and give me the basics.